Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day. Don't forget, grab your smartphone and download the Lava Matra app and stay in touch. Guru Maharaj's message is your advantage. The following is a Zoom session of Prabhupada Katha by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj on November 18th, 2020 in Sri Mayapur, India.
Makakaroti Vatalam Pangulang Ayate Gurem Yatithatavan Mande Sri Gurum Ninatadinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishram Harihi Om Tat Sat. So today we're having a different type of Chaitanya Lila class.
So today we are having a different type of Chaitanya Leela class.
Lord Chaitanya present day pastime.
Lord Chaitanya's present day pastimes.
On His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada went to the West.
When His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada went to the West.
He was carrying Lord Chaitanya's Vani.
He was carrying Lord Chaitanya's Vani.
And his activities are also the activities of Lord Chaitanya.
And his activities are also the activities of Lord Chaitanya.
He said that since Lord Chaitanya faced some obstacles like the Chandraji breaking the Mridangas,
He said that since Lord Chaitanya faced some obstacles like the Chandkazi breaking the Mridangas,
similarly the Krishna conscious movement faces from time to time some difficulties.
similarly, the Krishna consciousness movement from time to time faces some difficulties
Because we're representing Lord Chaitanya.
because we are representing Lord Chaitanya.
Today is the Disappearance Day in India of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada.
Today is the disappearance day in India of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada.
He went to the West taking the message of Sri Chaitanya.
He went to the West taking the message of Sri Chaitanya.
So, and this was predicted by Krishna, by Lord Chaitanya, by Bhaktivinoda Thakur,
And this was predicted by Lord Krishna, Lord Chaitanya and Bhaktivinoda Thakur
by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada.
and by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada.
So that this movement would spread all over the world.
That this movement would spread all over the world.
Every town and village, the chanting of the Lord's names would be heard.
That in every town and village, the chanting of the Lord's name will be heard.
Pratidite Ache Jata Nagaradigram Harata Prachariti Harive Varnam.
Pritibite ache jato sarva nagaradigram sarvatra pracharite hoibe morana.
So when one of Prabhupada's godbrothers came to speak to Srila Prabhupada,
When some of Srila Prabhupada's god brothers came to speak to Srila Prabhupada,
he said, we thought that this prediction that the message will be sung in every town and village of the whole world.
so we thought that this prediction that the message will be sung in
every town and village.
and every town and village of the whole world.
We thought maybe it was some kind of flowery, figurative speech.
We thought that it may be some flowery, figurative kind of speech.
How is it possible that this message will spread all over the world?
How is it possible that this message will spread all over the world?
But Srila, His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, he had that sincere belief.
But His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada, he had this sincere belief.
And therefore, he sincerely brought it to happen.
So therefore, he sincerely brought it to happen.
Without his mercy, where would we be today?
Without His mercy, where will be we today?
I posted some audio renditions of the Prabhupada Nahoitaki Haito, a song I composed.
I have posted some renditions of Jadi Prabhupada Na Hoito Tabeki Hoito that I composed.
I hope that you can hear that
I hope that you can hear that
and say which one you like.
and see which one you like.
Maybe like more than one.
Maybe you like more than one.
Anyway, Prabhupada brought this message to the West,
Anyway, Srila Prabhupada, he brought this message to the West.
and also in the West, he was instructed by the deities in Los Angeles
Also in the West, he was instructed by the deities in Los Angeles
to preach in India,
to preach in India,
to preach in India,
To-
in the East.
to preach in the East.
So, Prabhupada also established his movement in India, Bangladesh, Nepal,
Prabhupada also established his movement in India, Bangladesh, Nepal,
in Sri Lanka,
in Sri Lanka,
and Malaysia.
in Malaysia.
He personally went to Malaysia,
He personally went to Malaysia.
and he sent me and other devotees in Bangladesh.
He sent me and other devotees personally to Bangladesh.
So he was very much, he financed the preaching in Nepal
He financed the preaching in Nepal
and Bangladesh
and Bangladesh
and Pakistan.
and Pakistan.
So he wanted the Krishna conscious movement to spread everywhere.
So he wanted the Krishna consciousness movement to spread everywhere.
And by his desire, Lord Chaitanya's message reached.
So by his desire, Lord Chaitanya's message was preached.
So he was very concerned that after he left, the movement would stay together.
So he was concerned that after he have left, that the movement will stay together.
He was, because after many charismatic leaders leave after starting their spiritual movement,
So after many charismatic leader leaves after starting their spiritual movement,
the followers live off their assets.
the followers also leave after
They live off the assets.
they leave of the assets.
They sell the properties
They sell the properties
and live.
and leave.
So he didn't want that to happen.
So he didn't want that to happen.
He said, at least preserve what I give you.
So he said, at least preserve what I have given,
And if you can, expand it.
and if you can, expand it.
So, by the cooperation of all the devotees throughout the world,
So by the cooperation of all the devotees throughout the world,
the Krishna conscious movement has expanded.
the Krishna conscious movement has expanded.
And we're very fortunate that this vision of Lord Chaitanya through Srila Prabhupada is manifesting.
So we are very fortunate that The vision of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through Srila Prabhupada is expanding,
manifesting.
is manifesting.
So we still have a long way to go.
So we still have a long way to go.
And Prabhupada was encouraging that everybody should preach,
And Prabhupada was encouraging that everybody should preach.
especially at this time. We should preach to expand the influence of the Krishna conscious movement.
Especially at this time, we should preach to expand the influence of the Krishna conscious movement.
Now we're facing a worldwide pandemic.
Now we are facing a worldwide pandemic.
People should chant the name of God.
So people should chant the names of God.
Today, Hari Swami was holding at Prabhupada. He was two things: chanting Hare Krishna and distributing prasada.
Today Hari Sauri was explaining that Srila Prabhupada, he wanted two things. One is chanting Hare Krishna and one more was distributing prasadam.
Maybe other devotees said that also.
Maybe some other devotees said that also.
So we get the people to chant Hare Krishna,
So you can get people to chant Hare Krishna,
give them Krishna prasada,
give them Krishna prasadam,
and they go home.
and they go home.
Eventually they get purified,
But eventually they will get purified
and they start to understand the Krishna conscious philosophy.
and they'll start to understand the Krishna conscious philosophy.
Like this, a movement is very sublime.
So like this, the movement is very sublime.
He said that eventually they will say that the Krishna conscious movement has saved the world.
So he said that eventually they will say that the Krishna conscious movement have saved the world.
You see, people now, even this, although most people are theists,
Although most people are theists,
actually the concept of God is very impersonal.
actually the concept of God is very impersonal.
And they gradually are becoming like atheists
And gradually they are becoming like an atheist
or like agnostic.
or like agnostic.
Or they don't actually impose their faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Actually, they don't impose the faith on the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Prabhupada came to cause a revolution in the materialistic world.
So Prabhupada came to cause a revolution in the materialistic world.
And we see how he got the people chanting,
So we can see how he got the people to chanting,
how he distributed prasada,
how he distributed
how he
prasadam,
translated the books.
how he translated the book.
We are forever indebted that he did this tremendous sacrifice.
We are forever indebted that he did this tremendous sacrifice.
Traveling around the world at his age,
Traveling around the world at this age,
establishing Krishna consciousness in all the continents.
establishing Krishna consciousness in all the continents.
It's something unbelievable.
It is something unbelievable.
But he did that at great personal effort and sacrifice.
He did that by great personal effort and sacrifice.
He established the temples in the Holy Dham, Vrindavan, Mayapur.
He established the temples in the holy dhams, Vrindavan, Mayapur.
I went with Srila Prabhupada to Jagannath Puri.
I went with him. I went with Srila Prabhupada to Jagannath Puri.
He wanted to also establish a temple there,
He wanted to also establish a temple there,
but he could not get the land he wanted.
but he could not get the land that he wanted.
Now we have some land there,
Now we have some land there,
which would be something that he would appreciate.
which would be something that he would appreciate.
So he wanted his devotees to come from the west and see the holy dhams.
So he wanted his devotees to come from the west and to see the holy dham.
Later he also extended the Krishna conscious movement
But later he also expanded the Krishna conscious movement
in India
in India
and in South Asia.
and
In South Asia.
in South Asia.
So this I put today is the day that we feel separation.
So today is the day that we feel separation.
When they sing the Narada song, Jay Anilo Premadana.
When they sing the Narottam Das Thakur's song Jay Anilo Premadhana,
In the end, there's two lines.
and in the end there is two lines.
Says, I hit my head on the rocks.
I hit my head on the rocks.
I enter into the forest fire.
I enter into the forest fire.
I horses thing, so much separation of the hitting the head on the rock, ending in the fire.
I personally feel so much separation that I feel like hitting on the rock, entering into the fire.
While they're singing that,
While they are singing that,
they're jumping up and down.
they are jumping up and down.
I don't know. Who jump up and down
They are jumping up and down
in bliss,
in bliss.
singing, I'll smash my head on the rock.
I'll smash my head on the rock.
I'll enter into the fire. Haribo!
I'll enter into fire. Hari bol.
It's one time Prabhupada was watching a video of him leaving,
So one time, Prabhupada was watching a video of him leaving,
and some lady devotee,
and some lady devotees,
she was crying in separation.
she was crying in separation.
He said she's advanced.
He said she is advanced.
And someone was jumping up and down, smiling, laughing.
Someone was jumping up and down, smiling and laughing.
It's not the mood, he said.
This is not the mood, he said.
And separation, or not feeling bliss, jumping up and down.
In separation, we are not feeling bliss, jumping up and down.
You feel ecstasy, but it's a different type.
We feel ecstasy, but it's a different type.
So somehow we should be in the mood.
So somehow we should be in the mood.
And that Prabhupada, he entered into the eternal pastimes of Krishna.
So that Prabhupada, he entered into the eternal pastimes of Krishna.
But we are deprived of his vision.
But we are deprived of his vision.
On that day we feel separation.
So naturally we feel separation.
So that's something very special.
So that's something very special.
At that time, when you're reading the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya,
And at that time when we are reading the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya,
he described that when you feel separation,
he described that when you feel separation,
you can't think of anything else.
you can't think of anything else.
So your meditation is very deep, very complete.
And your meditation is very deep and complete.
And otherwise, we may be thinking of so many things.
Otherwise, we may be thinking of so many things.
But here when we feel separation,
But here when you feel separation,
our mind, our everything is concentrated on Krishna.
our mind, our everything should be concentrated on Krishna.
Or in this case, on Srila Prabhupada.
Or in this case, on Srila Prabhupada.
So, a very special day.
So it's a very special day.
I can remember all the special pastimes of Srila Prabhupada.
We can remember all the special pastimes of Srila Prabhupada.
How he was so dedicated to carrying out the order of his spiritual master.
How he was so dedicated for carrying out the orders of his spiritual master.
He had to face so many difficulties.
He had faced so many difficulties.
Beaten up and the things were stolen.
He was beaten up and his different things got stolen.
He faced many difficulties.
He faced many difficulties.
but for realizing the instructions of his spiritual master,
But for realizing this, the instructions of his spiritual master,
he did all these things.
he did all these things.
And he was very compassionate.
He was very compassionate.
That he saw that the people in the West, they were suffering,
That he saw that the people in the West, they were suffering.
although they had material facility, they weren't happy.
Although they had material facilities, they were not happy.
People in India, I met one man, he told me, I want to be born in Swarga or America.
I met one man in India. He said, I want to be born in Swarga or America.
I think America is like Swarga.
They think America is like Swarga.
You know that in New York there's holes in the road?
You know that in New York there is hollows on the road.
So, anyway, it's not Swarga.
Anyway, it is not Swarga.
Even Swarga is not permanent.
Even Swarga is not permanent.
You go there for some time, then you come down again.
You go there for some time and you come down again.
But if you have the mercy of Krishna,
But if you have the mercy of Krishna,
you go back to Golok.
you can go back to Golok.
So, and Prabhupada, he was giving us a real insight into Lord Krishna.
So, Srila Prabhupada, he was giving us the real insight about Lord Krishna.
We can understand that the Lord was a person, he was very merciful.
We could understand that the Lord was a person and he is very merciful.
That he came down to deliver the fallen souls.
That he came down to deliver the fallen souls.
As Lord Chaitanya, he was so merciful.
As Lord Chaitanya, he was so merciful.
Actually, Prabhupada would say that you cannot put any limit to his mercy.
Actually, Prabhupada would say that you cannot put any limit for his mercy.
So, and Prabhupada was telling us that what our position was.
Prabhupada, he would be telling us what our position was.
Here on the roof in the Lotus building,
Here in the roof, in the Lotus building,
and walking.
when he's walking,
Then we saw there were some ants that were migrating from one hole to another.
so then we saw that the ants were migrating from one hole to another,
Looking down.
looking down.
We were looking down.
We were looking down.
Then Prabhupada said, just as you're looking at the ants,
Just like you are looking at the ants,
you think how insignificant the ant is.
you think how insignificant the ant is.
It only lives for a few days.
They only live for a few days.
Similarly, there are higher entities in this universe.
Similarly, the higher entities in this universe,
Look down on human beings.
they look down at human beings.
Think how insignificant.
Think how insignificant.
They only live for a few days.
They only live for a few days.
Because our 1 year is our 1 day.
Because our 1 year is their 1 day.
So, if we live 60 years, that's 60 days for that.
And if you live for 60 years, it's like 60 days for them.
I think 2 months.
Within 2 months.
Like a ant or maybe a mouse or something.
Like for an ant, it's like for a month or something.
Mouse.
Mouse or something.
And so the devas see us as very insignificant.
So the devas see us as very insignificant.
But if we are Krishna conscious, we can actually achieve a spiritual world in this puny human life.
So if we are Krishna conscious, we can achieve the spiritual world in what human life?
In this puny life.
In the puny human life.
And that's the greatest benediction.
And that is the greatest benediction.
So for us, although the devas, they see us as very insignificant. For us, the 60, 100 years are 60, 100 years.
The devas, even though they look us very insignificant, for us, even though 60 or 100 years, it is 60 or 100 years.
And if we use that in Krishna's service,
And if we use that in Krishna's service,
then we can overcome this conditional life.
so then we can overcome this conditioned life.
So that Prabhupada was teaching how rare the human birth is
That Prabhupada was teaching how rare the human birth is
and how we should not waste our valuable human life.
and how we should not waste our valuable human life.
We should use the human life to our devotional service.
We should use the human life to do our devotional service.
Whether one is a brahmachari or whether one is a grihastha,
Whether one is a brahmachari or whether one is a grihastha,
they should engage in the service of Krishna.
they should engage in the service of Krishna.
That's the real purpose of life.
That is the real purpose of life.
And that's the revolution that Prabhupada was creating.
That is the revolution that Prabhupada was creating.
And people should actually think about Krishna, serve Krishna, read about Krishna,
People should actually think about Krishna, serve Krishna, read about Krishna.
they should be Krishna conscious.
They should be Krishna conscious.
So people don't know this.
So people don't know this.
You turn on the TV, you see so many material ideas.
So they turn on the TV and they see something material ideas,
So many floods, cyclones, hurricanes,
something about floods, cyclone, hurricane,
wars,
wars, pandemic.
and the whole world is disturbed.
The whole world is disturbed.
They don't know that because they're doing simply karma.
They don't know that because they are simply doing karma
They're getting the reactions.
and they are getting the reactions.
Now they could be Krishna conscious and become peaceful and happy in life.
So they could become Krishna conscious and become peaceful and happy in their life.
So that's what we want to do, is help the people become happy.
So that's what we want to do, to help the people to become happy.
That's why Lord Chaitanya came down,
That's why Lord Chaitanya came down
to give us the special key to the spiritual world.
to give us the special key to the spiritual world.
But he came 500 years ago,
But he came 500 years ago,
and then for 200 years his movement was very active.
and for 200 years his movement was very active.
Then it became like hidden.
Then it became like hidden.
And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they reactivated again.
And then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they reactivated it again.
And then Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he took it all over the world.
And then Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, he took it all over the world.
And now we have the responsibility to take his message and keep spreading it.
So we have the responsibility to take his message and keep spreading it
Until it reaches everybody.
until it reaches everybody. Haribol.
We should be so convinced that we can convince others.
So we should be so convinced. We should be so convinced that we can convince others.
And this is the thing that's missing today.
So this is the thing that it is missing today.
We have airplanes, we have all kinds of material facilities,
We have airplanes, we have all kinds of material facilities.
but why people are not happy?
But why people are not happy?
Why they're not peaceful?
Why they are not
They're
peaceful?
demonstrating in the streets.
They are demonstrating on the streets.
Police are abusing people,
Police are abusing people.
all because they don't have consciousness of Krishna.
All because they don't have consciousness of Krishna.
Prabhupada, he saw that missing.
So Prabhupada, he saw that missing.
As we sing every morning, samsara dava nalalita loka.
As we sing every morning, Samsara Dava Nalalidha Loka.
The material world is like a forest fire burning.
The material world is like a forest fire burning.
We recently saw how in California and Brazil and different places
We recently saw how in California, in Brazil and in different places,
there are forest fires.
there were forest fires.
And they tried to put them out,
They tried to put them out,
but they're not very successful.
but they were not very successful.
Whole houses, like whole colonies, whole areas got burned out.
All houses, like all colonies, whole area got burnt out.
Like one area in California called Paradise.
One area in California, we call it as paradise.
That was completely burned down.
That was completely burnt down.
So they have a TV show, Rebuilding Paradise.
So we have a TV show, Rebuilding Paradise. They
No
have a TV
paradise
show.
never burns.
New paradise that will not burn.
A real paradise in the spiritual world doesn't burn.
A real paradise in the spiritual world will not burn.
So this graphic demonstration of the forest fire
This graphic demonstration of the forest fire
can be extinguished by the mercy of the spiritual master.
can be extinguished by the mercy of the spiritual master,
Which comes down like rains.
which comes down like rain.
That's what they try to do. See the clouds somehow create rain.
So that's why they're trying to do, seed the clouds, somehow trying to create rains.
So the spiritual master gives us this knowledge of Krishna,
So the spiritual master gives us the knowledge of Krishna,
and then the world becomes peaceful.
and then the world becomes peaceful.
Are there any questions?
Are there any questions?
Raise your hand up.
So you can raise your hands up and ask Guru Maharaj. Anybody? Okay.
Okay, 3 hands up. Oh, right, wow.
Okay. Okay. K. Rani Mataji.
Oh, verses.
Okay. Harita Madhvi Mataji, please unmute her and ask her. Okay, Mataji, please ask. Unmute yourself, please. Okay, just wait for a minute. Okay. Yes, Mataji, ask, please.
Guru Maharaj, por aquí te merece estar agradecidas. Mi pregunta es, buenos días atrás, dijiste que no debe vivir en el templo.
Ojashuni Mataji, can you wait for a while?
Mayapur.
Ojashuni Mataji, wait for a while.
Ваня назад вы рассказывали о Вираджадеви храме в
因为您讲到了一个temp的 Viraja Devi，
நீங்கள் 2 நாட்களுக்கு முன்னால் விரஜா தேவி
Okay.
I see.
What happened was Guru Maharaj, when we unmuted everyone, everybody started to.
Can unmute one person?
Okay, Harita Madhvi Mataji, you can ask the question again. Please forgive us.
Yeah. Sorry, Kumar. Actually, you said that the Viraja Devi is very intimate in Krishna's pastime. But actually, Viraja Devi temple, she's been prayed as Parvati Devi. But Parvati Devi is considered as Krishna's sister. So can you please explain that more, Guru Maharaj?
So, you said that Viraja Devi is an expansion of Viraja Devi is an expansion of Krishna.
Viraja
No, Viraja Devi is intimate to Krishna in Krishna Leela.
Viraja
She
Devi
is
is
intimate with Krishna.
Okay.
But actually in the temple she is prayed as Parvati Devi.
Okay.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
a bit confused.
Where?
She is very intimate to Krishna, but actually in the temple she is prayed as Parvati Devi.
What temple?
Which temple?
Viraja temple
Viraja temple.
Where is that?
Where is that?
in Jajapur.
Jayapataka.
The one that you said, yeah.
I think
I checked it on the internet as well. They said that they pray her as Kali Mata, Parvati Devi.
they got checked it out on the internet. It says that the Viraja Devi is worshipped as Kali Mata or Parvati Devi.
Maybe. But anyway, that's a different Viraja.
Anyway, that may be a different Viraja.
What I was talking about was the Viraja in the
Spiritual world.
spiritual world.
I was talking about the Viraja in the spiritual world.
What the Viraja was in the Raja war, that thank you for informing us.
So that anyway about the Viraja in Yajapur, thank you for informing us.
Next question.
Next. Okay, Kerani Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisance. But my question is, when I read Prabhupada's book, I feel very connected to him. But previously, when my university was closed, I used to read late night. But now, since my university started, I have exams and all. I'm not able to read his books often, because of which I feel very guilty. So, what should I do? Like, how can I balance it?
Okay, we got your question.
Hard to say
Hard to say.
without knowing your exact schedule.
Without knowing your exact schedule.
Now, when you have time, obviously studying for your exams, all these things and take some intense concentration.
Obviously, studying for exam and all these things can take intense concentration.
And maybe short periods when you have to concentrate more on your studies,
Maybe in short periods when you have to concentrate more in your studies,
then other times you can concentrate more on the books.
and other times you can concentrate more on your books.
Whether there's any time to do the books
Whether there is any time to do the books
during your study,
during your studies,
that I have to analyze.
that you have to analyze.
And like housewives when they're cooking, we tell them they can listen to Prabhupada's class or books audio version.
So also when you are cooking, you can listen to Prabhupada's class or his books, audio version.
So I don't know specifically what your exact schedule is, and at any time given a day for reading.
So I don't know exactly what is your schedule is like. Is there any time specifically for your reading?
But sometimes there's so much service to your studies.
So sometimes there is so much service to do for your studies.
There's no time for Maya.
When there is no time for Maya.
And that's good.
And that's good.
So,
okay, next. During the construction of the long building, we heard a pastime of view about building it. Pastime of view construction. We heard a pastime of view convincing Srila Prabhupada by doing some calculations about the building in a particular way. If you please, can you relate that? Your servant. Lalitangi Mataji.
it says Prabhupada said to use the ground floor as a type of extension.
So you see, Prabhupada said to use the ground floor as a type of extension.
having a hatch in the first floor
Having a hatch in the first floor
and a wooden ladder down.
and a wooden ladder down.
And what I was suggesting that we make rooms on the ground floor.
I was suggesting that we make rooms in the ground floor.
Prabhupada said, "You want to break my wall, break your head."
Break my wall or break your head. Break my head. Break my head.
No. You want to break my wall, break your head.
If you want to break my wall, break your head.
Then he agreed that if it was cheaper,
Then he agreed that if that was cheaper,
then it's all right.
then it was all right.
But I should prove it.
But I should do that.
I should prove it.
Oh, I should prove it.
So I calculated the cost
So I calculated the cost
of the hatches, the ladders.
of the hatches, of the ladders.
I calculated the cost of doorways,
I calculated the cost of the doorways,
how much we get out of the bricks,
how much we get out of the bricks,
how much is broken.
how much we have broken.
So after that, the whole building was 5,000 rupees cheaper to have the ground floors.
So after that, the whole building was 5,000 rupees cheaper than having
Having hatches,
uh,
having doors.
then having hatches, having the doors.
Then he agreed.
And then he agreed. Hare Krishna Mataji, do you have any question?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, please ask.
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hello.
ஹரே கிருஷ்ணா குருமாஸ் தமிழ் பிரபு சொல்லியிருக்கேன்.
சொல்லிருங்க.
என் பேத்தி வந்து குருமராஜ் கிட்ட தீட்சை வாங்கினாங்க பிரபு அவங்க கல்யாணத்துக்கு முன்னாடி. இப்போ அவளுக்கு கல்யாணம் ஆயிடுச்சு. அவங்களோட ஹஸ்பண்ட் வந்து முன்னாடி வந்து நம்ம வைஷ்ணவ ஃபாலோ பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாரு, இஸ்கான்ல வந்து சேவை பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாரு. ஆனா இப்ப வந்து அவரு ராமானுஜ சம்பிரதாயத்துக்கு போயிட்டாரு. அதனால வீட்டுல இவங்க வந்து நம்ம சம்பிரதாயத்தையும் அவர் வந்து ராமானுஜ சம்பிரதாயத்தையும் கடைபிடிக்கலாமான்னு தெரியல.
ஓகே நான் சொல்றேன் குரு மகாராஜ் நில்லுங்க.
அது எப்படி சரியா வருவான்?
So Guru Maharaj, her granddaughter, she's an initiated disciple of you, and she got married to a devotee. But what happened after their marriage? Her husband he became a Sri Vaishnava. He got initiated into the Sri Vaishnava line, and her granddaughter is following the Gaudiya line. So is it okay to follow both the lines in the same house? She's asking like that. Is it okay?
Let's say that Padma Purana mentions that four bona fide Vaishnava lines.
You see that in the Padma Puran it is mentioned the four Vaishnava line. நீங்க பாருங்க பத்ம புராணத்துல வந்து 4 வைஷ்ணவ சம்பிரதாயங்களை பத்தி சொல்லியிருக்கு.
And Sri Sampradaya is one of the four bona fide.
Sri Sampradaya is one of the four bona fide.
Brahma Sampradaya is also one.
Brahma Sampradaya is also one. ஸ்ரீ சம்பிரதாயமும் வந்து அங்கீகரிக்கப்பட்ட ஒரு சம்பிரதாயங்கள ஒன்று. அதே போல் பிரம்ம சம்பிரதாயமும் வந்து அங்கீகரிக்கப்பட்ட சம்பிரதாயங்களில் ஒன்று.
Sri Sampradaya, they go to Vaikuntha.
Sri Sampradaya, they go to Vaikuntha.
And Gaudiya Sampradaya, you can go either Vaikuntha or you can go to Krishnaloka.
In Gaudiya Sampradaya, you can either go to Vaikuntha or you can go to Krishnaloka. The Tamil translation is happening. Shantagopi Mataji is doing it. Okay, next. Done. Okay, Mataji, unga kelvikku vida kadichirtha? Okay, next. Next. Okay. 2 or 3 more questions, Guru Maharaj?
Chaya? No.
Yeah.
what the other program tonight?
Okay, we'll go to Raghu Ramanarayan. Okay, Sham Daya Sagar Das from Damodar Desh. Please unmute yourself, Prabhu. You have some
Krishna Guru Maharaj.
Yes, please ask, Prabhu. You have a question, right?
Prabhu, yes, I'm asked this Bengali after your translation, Guru Maharaj.
You ask in Bengali and Prabhu can do. জিজ্ঞাস করুন
বলো।
বলুন
হরে গুরু মহারাজ, আপনার চরণ শ্রী চন্দ্রপ্রণাম। আমার প্রশ্ন হচ্ছে গুরু মহারাজ, যে আমি শিল প্রপাদের শ্রীমদ ভগবত গীতা এবং শ্রীমদ ভাগবতম এবং চৈতন্য ভাগবতম পড়ছি, কিন্তু যখন আমরা প্রচার করতে যাই বা কাউকে বলতে চাই এটা মনে থাকে না, সেটাই আমার প্রশ্ন, কেন?
What's it saying? He says he reads Bhagavad Gita and other books. When he goes to preach, nothing stays in his mind. Agon, and কিছু করার জন্য, actually if I speak English. All right, so then if you read, should stay in your mind. So I don't know why it doesn't stay in your mind. Translate. No, you can read.
What was that, Guru Maharaj?
I don't know why it doesn't stay in your mind.
I don't know why it doesn't stay in your mind.
You can read a little bit.
You can read a little bit
And say that.
and say that.
If something doesn't stay in your mind, then I'll tell them that you'll read up and tell later.
And if something doesn't stay in your mind, read it up and tell it later.
So then you can read again.
Then you can read again,
Refresh your mind.
refresh your mind,
And use it.
and use it.
If you don't use it, you'll lose it.
If you don't use it, you lose it.
If you use it, then naturally you can keep it.
If you use it, then naturally you can keep it. Okay, Chaitali
You
Mata.
take cow's milk.
Do you take cow's milk? Oh Krishna. Chaitali Mataji, you have some questions, right? Please unmute. Oh, you don't have any questions. It's okay.
Blessing.
Blessing. Okay.
Krishna.
Krishna Matirastu. Okay, Kakuli Rani Mataji, do you have some questions to ask? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisances. Guru Maharaj, we can see that when Srila Prabhupada went to West, he preached the hippies and he turned them into devotees. So nowadays, which people we see around, it's difficult to say them about Krishna consciousness. Most probably, like how to say them what Srila Prabhupada has taught us, because they believe some Babajis, which are saying them, which they say to follow them as like Guru or the Supreme Personality. They say themselves as Guru, like the fake Babajis. So how can we preach to these people? They are more difficult than the hippies. How Srila Prabhupada has.
Okay, we got the question.
You don't. You just stick to the Vedas.
You just stick to the Vedas.
Show them what the Bhagavad Gita says.
Show them what the Bhagavad Gita says.
And then, if the Baba says something different,
And if the Baba, if he said something different,
we can't deal with that.
we can deal with that.
No, we can't deal.
We can't deal with that.
We say we follow the Vedas.
We say we follow the Vedas.
And then, that way, some people, they want to follow some false avatar.
Anyway, some people, they want to follow some false avatar.
And Rajamundri, there's one called, they said that the avatar of Kalki.
In Rajamundri, there is one person, and they say that he is an avatar of Kalki.
So then they showed how in the Bhagavatam, Kali avatar comes at the end of Kali.
And they showed him from the Bhagavatam that Kalki avatar comes at the end of Kali.
And that Kali has only just started.
Kali is only just started.
It's 427,000 years.
There's around 427,000 years.
Is it a little off time?
It is little off time.
I may not be Kalki, but I am an avatar. I am God.
I may not be Kalki, but I am an avatar. I am God.
And there are many people like this that are bogus.
So there are many people like this. They are bogus.
And then gradually, you have to just stick to the Vedas.
And gradually, you have to just stick to the Vedas.
We're basically followers of the Vedas.
We are basically the followers of the Vedas.
If someone preaches something against the Vedas,
If someone preaches something against the Vedas,
what can we do?
what can we do?
We say that what you're saying is against the Vedas.
But we can show them that what you are doing is against the Vedas.
And then, therefore, the sincere people will follow us.
So therefore, the sincere people will follow us.
There was one guru in Bengal, he was a Sahaja.
There was one guru in Bengal. He was a Sahajiya.
He said that the devotee, he or she, I forget, was coming to the Nam hut.
So his devotee, he or she, I forgot, was coming to the Nama hut.
And then learned that the Vaishnavas take Krishna Prasada.
And they learned that the Vaishnavas, they take Krishna Prasadam.
So she gave vegetarian food to the Kula Guru.
So she gave the vegetarian food to the Kula Guru.
And what is this?
And he said,
What is this?
And he said, what is this? What is this?
I'm Guru.
I'm your Guru.
I should be given the opulent food.
I should be given an
These
opulent food.
vegetables are cheap.
These vegetables are
Fish,
cheap.
meat are expensive.
Fish, meat are
Give
expensive.
me the brownie food.
Give me
I
the
don't want this cheap food.
give me this expensive food. I don't want the cheap food.
And then she realized that this guru was bogus.
And then she realized that the Guru was bogus.
So that way we have to stick to the Vedas, and gradually we convince people.
So in that way we have to stick to the Vedas, and gradually we should convince people.
Some people may choose a Baba because they want to eat some meat or something.
Some people, they may choose a Baba because they want to eat fish or meat or something.
What can we do?
What can we do?
Now we try to present how eating prasad is better.
Then we should try to present how eating prasad is better.
And by eating meat, you get the bad karma.
And by eating meat, you can
Get bad karma.
get bad karma.
And become a cat
And can become a cat
or a dog
or dog
or a tiger.
or a tiger. Okay, last question. Okay, Shivam from ISKCON Vrindavan. Shivam from ISKCON Vrindavan. Okay, Hare Krishna Shivam Prabhu from Vrindavan. Please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Guru Maharaj.
Yes, please ask your
I
question.
will.
Guru Maharaj, devotee association is a very important limb for our devotional service. But when we come in ISKCON or start a Krishna consciousness practice, and we engage in some services with in association of devotees, so our pre-devotional lives, some disqualifications we have. So when we come in devotee association, so we commit so many sinful activities against the lotus feet of Vaishnavas. In this way, the devotee association becomes even more dangerous for us. So how can we deal that situation when some offense we are
Path, he would teach us to avoid the 10 offenses towards the holy name. That's why Srila Prabhupada, he would teach us to avoid the 10 offenses towards the holy name.
First offense is to blaspheme or offend a devotee.
So the first offense is not to blaspheme or offend a devotee.
So we have to, it's worse to offend a devotee than be sinful.
It's worse to offend a devotee than being sinful.
So you should avoid offending a devotee.
So we should avoid offending a devotee.
And at the same time, naturally you want to try to come to the pure platform.
So at the same time, you should try to come to the pure platform.
So before you take initiation, you should be sure you can follow the principles.
So before you take the initiation, you should be sure that you can follow these principles.
Hari
Bol.
Do you like our ad-free videos? Be sure to subscribe to our channel. We publish new videos every day, and don't forget to like and share our channel.